Hello everyone, as you know we've been going through two of three pillars of observabilities are metrics and tracing. So in this video we're gonna explore the last pillars is log. Particularly we're gonna extend our diagram with Loki. So as you can see here in the diagram, the flow for logs is gonna be implemented like this. We're gonna configure logback with OpenTelemetry appender that appends logs to not only the console but the collector by gRPC endpoint here at port 4317. Then we're gonna update our collector configuration YAML file to push that log data to Loki here. And finally, we will add Loki to Grafana as data source to observe the log visually. Okay, first part, making sure that log data was sent to collector from Springboard. So apparently we need to update our Springboard app. And as you know, Springboard using logback by default, right? And we'll use this one. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna add another appender, OpenTelemetry appender to write out logs to OpenTelemetry collector. So we're going to create a logback string XML file here. Okay, here's logback string .xml in the resources folder, and this is the default configuration to write our logs to console. So we're gonna add OpenTelemetry appender here, so we call it OpenTelemetry. Okay, then I will add another appender reference here, so OpenTelemetry. So by doing that, I declare in the logback.xml that I want to write our logs to console and the OpenTelemetry appender here. So where this class come from? Actually, this class come from the OpenTelemetry logback appended dependencies that we're gonna add it into build operator. Okay, so let's go to build operator and this one. I OpenTelemetry instrumentation and OpenTelemetry logback appended. So by adding this dependency, so we're gonna have this class here. Okay, so now we are having OpenTelemetry appender that send the log to collector, but we need to register it with an OpenTelemetry SDK to get information about, for example, the path of hotel collectors, the gRPC endpoint, etc. But unfortunately, the OpenTelemetry SDK for logs is stable at version 1.27.0. So the log bridge API and the log SDKs are now stable from this version. And if we take a look at our micrometer dependency, runtime micrometer dependency here, so build radar, we see that we add the micrometer dependency at runtime only, right? So micrometers dependency, we'll see that it depends on the version 1.25.0 of OpenTelemetry, 1.25.0, 1.25.0. So if we want to add OpenTelemetry SDK for logs here, this dependency should be at least at version 1.27. And for the compatibility, we should bump all the telemetry dependency version to at least 1.27 as well. And in our case, I will bump all the hotel dependency to the version 1.29. So this is the newest version of OpenTelemetry 1.29. For simplicity, I will add all of them to our radar. So I will add them to radar here. Okay, so any version here is now 1.29, 1.29, right? And we have micrometers. Yeah, we don't really touch to micrometers, so that's why it can be runtime only. but yeah, there are some classes we needed in OpenTelemetry SDK, for example, the OpenTelemetry SDK itself. So that's why I put it as an implementation. Okay, let's reload it. Okay, let's check OpenTelemetry's exporter OTOPs, and now we have SDK log, SDK for log here. So this is the one we want to add, and this metric, and this is for trace. Okay, that's good so far. Then back to our purpose, we wanted to restore OpenTelemetry SDK to our OpenTelemetry appender, right? So how do we do that? So we knew that there's one OpenTelemetry SDK auto configured for us on tracing perfectly, right? Auto OpenTelemetry auto configuration. So this one, and we absolutely want to keep this auto configuration for tracing. So what we're gonna do here, we will copy the pin here and paste it into our configuration file. Okay, so we'll create another file, OpenTelemetry config, telemetry config. Here's is in configuration class, and then okay. So we won't make any changes in the current code here, and we just want to add the new log functionality to this, right? So I'll extend this one with the access logger providers, and I will create my SDK logger provider here. So we're using SDK logger provider builders, and we set the resource here, and we set the log processor here. So basically the resource is the way that, like in the same as trace we did in the last video. It's about the application, the service name of the log here. So it will based on the Spring.application.name. So if we don't specify a Spring application.name, it will use the application at the same behavior as tracing in the last video, right? So I would like to keep this behavior, so that's why I create the Spring resource here. And about the processors, it's the place where we want to specify how do we send the log. We send log as a batch, and then this protocol is your PC, right? And this is the path to the OpenTelemetry collectors. So the local host 4317. So localhost OpenTelemetry appender to localhost, and yeah, that's it. Then we're going to auto wire SDK log providers, and now we still keep the auto configurations OpenTelemetry, but we extend it with the logger providers. And the last thing we need to do is we need to register this OpenTelemetry SDK to our log appender. Okay, so I will OpenTelemetry SDK, and I will use this one, OpenTelemetry appender, and I will install the OpenTelemetry SDK, and then I'll return the OpenTelemetry SDK as usual. So by doing that, now the OpenTelemetry appender here, here's we declared here's to use the OpenTelemetry to send our log to the OpenTelemetry collector using these processors and using this resource. So the attribute of the service name here. Okay, now I think we're done setting anything up on the Spring Boot side, the next step is we need to support gRPC and OpenTelemetry collectors. Okay, so you see here in the we only support HTTP as current, so I will extend it. So gRPC, and so the hotel collector will support gRPC as port. The default port for gRPC is 4317. So let's check, do we export it on the Docker Compose? Okay, so we export the 4317 for the gRPC receiver as well, so it's okay. Okay, so back to this one, I would like to see the log, so I will add a log here, and for receivers, so the receiver, since we still using the receiver OTLP from another protocol, but it's still the OTLP, right? So it's the OTLP's processor, don't need any processor, and I would like to log it first. So we don't have Loki this time, but I want to make sure that we have the proper connection. Okay, so I don't want to log this one because I know for sure that it already worked. Okay, let's check Docker compose up -d and entered, and I will use Docker ps. So I'll check the log of the OpenTelemetry here, telemetry collector. I would like to see is some log data was sent from Springboard to OpenTelemetry collector. So Docker log s -f and the container IDs. Okay, and then I'll run my application. So there's some logs were printed here, right? Okay, my terminal. We're missing something. The file name is wrong. Okay, I'll rename it. Logback. Sorry. Okay, I'll rename it. Then let's run it again. Okay. Okay. Skip this one. Terminal. Okay, now back to terminal, we see that there's some log data was sent from our application, right? So that means that we successfully configured our Springboard and OpenTelemetry collectors. The next thing is that send that log data to Loki. So let's go ahead and add Loki to our Docker Compose. So Prometheus, Loki temple. So Loki will listen at port 3100. Then let's go to the collector configurations. Here's and add Loki exporter and append it to this log. So in this exporter zone, I'll add Loki here, and I want to have Loki's. Okay, so let's stop applications and spin it up again. Okay, let's double check. So this is the Loki, right? So we will send the data to this endpoint. Data will send using the endpoint here. And okay, let's spin up all our containers again. Docker compose down. Okay, so now we have Loki and hotel collectors is configured to send data to Loki. Okay, Let's run the application. Okay, some log already sent. And go to Grafana localhost 3000. So admin, login here. So skip this one. And let's add another connection. Yeah, add another data source. So we have Prometheus and Temple already, right? But this time we'll add Loki. And so we open Loki. Add Loki 3100. Okay, so save. Okay, data source successfully connected. Then go to explore and select label. So the service name in our case is the job in the Loki. So job here, and we select hello service. Then run a query here. So you should see prediction. So you see the complete initializations, initial servlet. So the timeline here. So it should be, this is from the beginning and this is the current, right? Completed initial. Then let's go and add another endpoint here. So we have hello, right? Then I will add the exceptions. And I also have some log here. So this is a log guard. So I would like to log the error message here. And I also want to using the log info here. Hello method started. Something like that. And yeah, okay, I would like to arrow. Okay, it's just something like that. ID missing, for example. I don't even care about that. But yeah, now we start the service again. And I'm going to send some requests. Localhost hello. Okay, and so as you can see here we have this log, right? One info log and one error log. Let's check this one. So I'm going to run the query. So we have the error log here, and this is the info log, error log for our. And if we notice, we will see the span ID and the trace ID here. And so, and if we're interested, we also have, explore, go to another temple. We search for service, hello service, and we'll see we have hello one here, right? And this also come from with the same trace IDs and span ID here. But this button is disabled for now. We want to enable this one, right? Okay, then let's back to applications. And first stop our applications. Then we need to update a little bit our Grafana data sources to update. Okay, so edit table files temple. So I would like to can edit table. I would like to edit it in true, and I will restart. So docker compile douse and docker compile. Okay, so again localhost 3000 have admin Loki here. http Loki 3100 save. Yes, it's no data because we haven't run the service, but let's run our service. Okay, now run our service back to send some trade data. Then we hello, we reload this one, and also we run exception. This ID invalid. Okay, so it should be have some data, right? Okay, then as usual, go to explore here. We'll see our service, hello service here, and where it. So we have trace ID, span ID, and the slip. And if we this one for temple, trace service hello service run an exception. So this the exception. So this trace ID is F3A4E. So this should be this one, right? Okay, this one, and then we better have the option enable. How to do that? Okay, actually we're going to our data sources and temple and trace the log. We need to enable this one. So data source here is Loki. That time I will from 1 hour ago to 1 hour in the future span, and this one is service name at the job, so you will know about it later. So I would like to find filter by trace IDs, filter span IDs, and I save it. So okay, if you if you didn't enable this one, so you cannot save it, because that's why I need to spin it up again to show you how to do this one on the UI. Okay, now back to our Explore. So trace here, we have select a hello service, and for example, want to get exception here. Okay, no, don't need it. Just run it, and you have an exception and hello both of them here. Trace ID, and close this one. And now we have log for this span. Click it, and you will see the log for this span, and this is the message. Yeah, good. Here you will see the detail of the message, and you could find your this ID is invalid. Let's do the same thing for our hello. Yes, this is our hello, right? Trace hello, and we will see hello service, and we would like to see log for this span. So we see that we have two log for this span, and one is the info log and one is the error logs. So that's exactly what we want to do for linked between the trace and the log. Before we end this video, I would like to make anything auto configured when we spin it up anything. So I would like to update the data source here by adding Loki here. So we have Prometheus as a data source. Now we have Loki as a data source and a temple, and I turn it back to file, right? And in the temple, I also turn it on trace to log. And this data source is Loki. You remember it here when we update the temple. So the data source is Loki, the span start time, the span end time, the task, the service name. So I do the same thing here, the Loki and the task, the service name, the job here to make it run correctly. Then let's run it the last time to see. Now we can do every time spin up anything. Okay. The compose down, docker compose. Oops. Okay. So, oh no, we forgot to run our services. and run our services. Sends one request to hello endpoint and one request to exception. Okay, then we connect it again. Admin. Okay, skip. So we have this time we have, let's see the data source. We have all the data source is configured for us, and also with temples, anything here, right? Subname, the target subname at the job. Okay, so it's mean. What does it mean? Explore temples. I'll search for hello service, run query, and hello. Close this one. So I wanted to see log for this span, and you will see it's find job here. Although in the trace, this is the hello service is a service name, right? But in Loki, the keys of the service name is job, so that's why we map the service name from temple to from Loki. Okay, I think I'll end this video here. Hope you can learn something new, and so much thank you for watching this video and this series. See you in the next video.